Hi everyone, and welcome to today's English homework help. Today we're talking about persuasive writing and specifically using the technique of appealing to authority. Now, when we use persuasive devices, we're considering how we're going to connect with the person or the group that we're trying to persuade. Okay, who are we trying to talk to? Who is our audience, and what do we want them to do? And how do we best connect with them to get them to make that change in their mind or in their change in their behavior? The different ways that we can connect with people are through pathos, logos, and ethos, which is to say that we can connect with their values and their emotions at a deep level. We can also impact them by pointing to things that they trust and building credibility with them. And we can appeal to their logic, reason, and provide proof. So we've got to have that holistic approach to convincing people. We can hammer somebody with all the evidence in the world, but if they don't care, it doesn't matter. And by the same token, we can be completely trustworthy and very credible in what we speak about, but if they don't care, or we can't provide the proof to make it make sense for them, they're not going to change their beliefs. So that's why we need this holistic approach. Now, the lovely thing about the appeal to authority as a persuasive device is that we are going to use all these aspects of being persuasive. When we talk about appealing to authority, what we mean is that we look to a person or an entity or some research which has authority to speak on the issue. You or I might have an opinion about something based on all of this stuff, but we may not be experts in it ourselves, which means that if somebody came to us asking for our advice, we would have to look at the research or show them where we got our information to make our opinion. We haven't been at the coalface, getting the data, observing things in real life, or perhaps experiencing it ourselves in many cases. But if you can appeal to a person who has lived through the thing you're talking about, or who has researched it, or who works in the field, then that person is an authority on the topic, and we can refer to what they say about it as a way of helping us to sound more convincing when we're persuading people. Appealing to someone's authority as an expert in the thing that we're talking about, and therefore giving weight to whatever they tell us and whatever we use from them in forming our persuasive argument, allows us to show people how this person's individual experience can connect with them about the things that they care about, and it shows them why we should care about those things. So why that person's experience should cause us to care, to value the issue and to connect with it on an emotional level. Bringing forward a victim's information to explain why an issue is really important then connects with people's values, because most people will not want other people to end up being victims of the same sorts of things. Also, showing somebody who's been through something or referring to someone's research when they've looked into something in great depth allows them to have that credibility and trust that you or I might not have on our own, but we can build that by looking at that other person's credibility. And therefore, through us referring to their credibility and then presenting their information, we're sort of piggybacking off their credibility as well. And of course, it makes sense that most people won't believe something that's told to them by just any old person. They want to see the evidence that what is being spoken about is true, and they want that from a credible and reliable source. So credibility might come down here at ethos, but making sense and being logical and having the evidence and the proof, that appeals to logos and people's sense of needing that information to come from somebody who can provide the hard evidence. Now, sometimes there's not going to be hard proof of things because we're relying on anecdotal evidence. But in that case, that person's story might pull some heartstrings and help us to point to the fact that this person has honestly lived through it, and therefore they can talk about it, even though I might not be able to talk about my experience personally. And if a person has done research, then we're looking down here. They can appeal to a person's sense of wanting proof for things. They also have credibility. Now, if you can have all of these things in the types of authorities that you choose, that's perfect. But even if you have two that are really strong and one that might be a little bit weaker, you're still covering all your bases when you appeal to authority as your choice of persuasive device. I hope that's helpful. If you're working on an argument at the moment, you're working on a persuasive essay or a persuasive oral, feel free to send me an email if you need any feedback, jane@lavenderlearning.com.au, or pop a comment on this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notifications bell. I would really, really appreciate it if you could subscribe. I see that there have been over 1,000 views of videos on this site, and I can also see how many unique viewers we've had, and it's a lot more than the 14 people who have subscribed. It helps me to know that there is a following if you hit that subscribe button as well. Thanks so much, guys. Have a wonderful week. Bye.